All right, Nick, way to burn off those mini eggs this morning. Really working up a sweat there. All right, turning to this now. What started off as a TikTok sensation has now become a book talk reality for writer Imani Erriu. And after the massive enthusiasm and millions of likes on her posts and thousands of five-star reviews on Google and Amazon, this has led to Erriu's novel, the first of the 5-book series, starting with Heavenly Bodies, becoming a reality. Welcome, Imani, and part 2 of the series is on the way. We'd like to welcome you to CP24 Breakfast. I am halfway through reading this book, and I gotta say, I am so hooked. This is incredible. I want to know, though, what it's like, Imani, what it feels like to have all this support coming from TikTok for your first ever debut novel.
It's just absolutely surreal. When I first started writing the books, I had no idea that it would take off like this. So every moment has just made me so grateful. It's so wonderful to have so many readers who have been with me right since the beginning of the journey up to this exciting point.
And this is a new category that I'm kind of new to called romantasy, where it's like romance and fantasy. Why do you think it's gaining so much popularity right now? I mean, your book isn't just a romance, though. I mean, based on zodiac and Greek mythology, it's very magical and transporting. But why do you think it's having such an effect on especially female readers?
Thank you so much for the kind words. I think that it's the perfect blend of what people want in a story. One thing that I always think with fantasy romance, it makes you feel something. And while there's so much fun in it and there's an escape with the fantasy element, you also feel so much for the characters with the romance aspect. So it's such a great blend of genres. And I think that's really why it's taking up the space at the moment.
So the book is basically based on kind of the 12 zodiac signs, and each of them are gods or stars. And we follow Princess or Queen Alara because she wields the power of shadows as she gets kidnapped by the enemy kingdom. So I want to ask you, if you could be one of the stars, whether it's, Ariete or Aphrodite, which one would you be?
I am a Leo, so I'd have to be Leon, who is the equivalent of that. I feel like I relate to him most out of all of the gods in the book.
Yeah, and that would be Prince Lorenzo. And this is very much kind of enemies and, like an enemy love to lovers love story and forbidden love. I'm curious to know, because you've got 5 books coming up until 2028. Is part 2 of your book, Fallen Stars, is it a continuation of Heavenly Bodies?
So it is, yes. All of the books in the series are all connected together and follow a kind of great sweeping plot. But what's so exciting is with book 2, although we still follow Ilara and Enzo's story, we also bring in some other characters and romances so that the world really expands.
Oh my gosh. The way I read it, it sounds like I could be watching something on Netflix. Have you been approached by producers yet to turn your series into a television show or a movie?
I haven't yet, but I'm manifesting it hard because I too would love to see it cinematically. So fingers crossed, I'll be getting that email soon.
Yeah, I know you have an English literature degree and that you grew up, spending the time in the outdoors and the forests. But I'm curious to know, you look like a very young author. How long did it take you to write Heavenly Bodies, and where are you in the process of writing the rest of the books right now?
So Heavenly Bodies took me around a year for the first draft from start to finish. I actually wrote it in the lockdown back in 2020, and it was having that kind of space and time to be able to just follow my passions was lovely. With the other books, right now, I'm towards the end of the edits for the second book. So that's coming out in November. So we're sort of really crunching down on just tying up the last loose strings of that book.
Oh my gosh, amazing. And I understand that Barnes & Noble has actually put out a special edition of this book with kind of foiled pages and illustrations and also a bonus chapter.
Yes, they have. I always say I feel like the luckiest girl in the world to have so many beautiful editions of my book. And the Barnes & Noble one is just so stunning. It's so nice having that exclusive so that people can really treasure it.
And do you ever get writer's block, Imani? I know that, a lot of writers often struggle with that, but what is your kind of secret to pushing through, making those edits, or just writing on days you don't feel like writing?
I definitely suffer from writer's block. I always think the best thing to do, I'm so lucky, where I live in the UK is beautiful. I'm surrounded by forests and nature, so I always just shut my laptop, take a walk with music in. And I feel just moving can help you to flow again and taking some space away from your work. So that's my quick fix, and it works every time.
Okay, and Imani, can you give us any kind of hints as to kind of what happens in Fallen Stars and the other books? Are we going to continue following Alara and Lorenzo, or are there going to be other love stories and characters weaved in as we go along?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited about Fallen Stars because it's the first time we get other characters' point of views and storylines, as well as Ilara's, who was the only one in book one. It's going to be a rip-roaring adventure. We go to the high seas, there's pirates and mermaids and great mythical creatures, and of course, lots of plot twists, which I always love to write. So I'm very excited for you guys to see exactly where the story is going to go and some of the other love stories that get introduced too.
Okay, because this is very Zodiac based, last question for you, Imani. I know that Prince Lorenzo, Helios, a Leo, and Alara is from Asteria, but that makes her a Pisces. So Leo and Pisces, is this a good match?
Do you know what's so funny? I feel like astrologically, actually not very compatible at all because it's water and fire.
Right.
I think you can see that at the beginning of their relationship in the book too, because they're true enemies and they're clashing all the time and kind of find a way to find a level ground together. So it sort of subconsciously ended up working out exactly right, I suppose.
Okay, last question for you. I promise, Imani, I'm having such a good time talking to you.
I am too. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So these love stories, are they based on your own kind of autobiographical experiences with star-crossed love or kind of, ooh, the bad boyfriend? Any of this make its way from real life into your books?
I mean, I have to say, I feel like with romance, especially in the fantasy genre, everything's so heightened. But I am so lucky to have obviously known great love to be able to write about it. So it definitely helps to have inspiration for someone like Enzo's character and also a really deep love connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the plot. I am so hooked, and I can't wait to read the rest of Heavenly Bodies, available in bookstores now, and can't wait for book 2, dropping November 2025. Imani Erriu, thank you so much for joining us, and can't wait to read more. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So great to speak with you.
Thank you. Take care.